Hey everyone, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. How is everyone? How's the audio? Does the audio sound okay? Welcome in everyone. Hello to everyone that is watching live and hello to everyone that's listening to the replay. My name's Bridget Parker and I cover all things true crime and I'm really happy to have you all here. Before we go any further, there's a couple of things I want to mention. First off is a big hello to our member, singular. Hello to Morgan. I do have memberships for the channel and I'm working on lots of different features for memberships. So if you're interested in joining memberships, you can do so. There is a link in the description of the video. You can become a respectful stalker and support the channel. Audio sounds good. Thank you guys. Hey everyone. So a quick hello to Miss Justice, Mercedes Girl, Jack's Mum, Libra Scales, Ray D, Cheryl T. Welcome. Hey everyone. So a little bit of admin first. I've been thinking about doing this for a little while and I want everyone's feedback. Hey, Alan Stamp. I'm thinking about changing my channel name. And I wanted to mention it here because when I do change the channel name, some people might get a little confused. But I'm thinking of not calling my channel my name, but actually calling it All Things True Crime. So let me know what you think about that in the comments, in the chat or in the comments after the stream. So if you see my channel name change, that's why. I think that it might bring more people in, and then people have an idea that exactly my channel is just about true crime. And then I'm going to move, like all of the other stuff I'm going to have on my second channel, which is called Beautifully Broken Bridget, but I'm going to probably just rename it to my name, Bridget Parker. So let me know what you think in the comments below about that. I do have a new video coming out soon. I have been working on it. We didn't do a live last week because I've been very, very busy. I wasn't feeling so great and I want to dedicate some great time to getting that video perfect for you. It's a really wild case, really wild 000 call, which is our 911. So I'm hoping to have that out quite soon. But today I want to go over three things in particular. I want to go over Mert Ney. This is a case that I did cover back in 2019. And I think that a lot of you might remember it. It is about the Sydney CBD stabbing. We watched a video. I covered it live and we watched a video of a man be arrested by citizens and with a milk crate. We're going to rewatch that video. And that case is now, Mert has been sentenced. He pleaded guilty to the murder of Michaela Dunn. So we're going to have a look at that case. I want to chat briefly about Robert Durst. I couldn't sleep this morning, so I was watching some of the trial and it's really interesting, fascinating. I want to know if you guys are watching it as well. And then I want to talk about Trent Paschal, who the crime he committed was in October of last year, but it was recently back in the news and I heard about it last night and I sort of fell down a rabbit hole researching it as well. So let's start at the top. Let's start with Mert Ney. So I don't know if you guys remember this. Let me know in the chat if you do. This happened August 19th. What date August? Let me just double check. I can't remember the exact date in August, but in August of 2019, I got all these Twitter alerts saying that there was like a madman loose in the Sydney CBD. And it was absolutely wild. He was running around covered in blood, as you can see from the photos on screen, with a knife. We didn't know at first about the fact that he'd actually just killed Michaela, who's on the right on the screen. We didn't know about that. We just knew that he had a knife and he had stabbed a woman who did survive, and he was charged with harming her, seriously injuring, I can't remember the exact charge, but her name is Lynn Bowen, and she survived. So he was apprehended by citizens, and I'm going to show you the video. We listened to it back then whilst it was live. There is a little bit of language in it. I'll also leave in the description of the video the live that we did on that, and then my little follow-up on it, so that you know a little bit more about it. But I'm going to mute myself so we can listen to the video of this was someone who recorded the incident. It's really interesting, so let's have a little look.
Stop, you fucking piece of shit! There, people, you just stabbed you, dog! Huh? Stop. Look, I don't kill you right now, cunt. No, stop. You're a piece of shit, cunt.
Wait for the cops,
Come on, give me your phone, mate. You stabbed the chick, mate. You're a fucking dead man inside, cunt. I want you to know. Relax. Now you go to civil water, cunt. You're dead.
Mate, can you take that off? No, can you just tell us what you said? What did you see?
You just stabbed the chick, you dead broad daylight.
What happened?
You stabbed the chick, come running down. Oh, I don't know what that street is. He just stabbed people. I don't know, he's got a bottle of pills up there. Nah. He's just swallowed a bottle of pills too. No one touched that, no. No one touched it, it's all evidence. Up there as well.
What did you do this for?
All the pills that he just took.
Watch his hands. Watch his hands. Yeah, we don't have something else.
Your keys and these.
He's not going nowhere.
His hands down.
Pocket.
Stand on his hands.
Thank you.
Stand on his hands.
Yeah, so there is some language there. But so, I mean, what an amazing citizen's arrest. And we madly respect the milk crate. So I followed this case a lot, and a family member worked with someone who also worked at Silverwater Jail, which is our big jail, and gave me some inside information. So apparently Mert suffers from a lot of mental health issues. He was in protective custody, obviously. And prior to this incident, he actually checked into a mental health facility, but then after 6 hours checked himself out of it. So what we don't know before this video, what those people don't know, is that he actually went to Michaela Dunn's apartment, or her, I think it was actually, I'm not sure if it was her apartment, but a room. She was a sex worker, and he had booked an appointment with her, and he had seen her before. When he turned up, she kept asking him apparently if he was okay, and she could tell that something wasn't quite right with him, and unfortunately he stabbed her quite graphically. If you have a look at the second photo, the middle photo that's on the screen at the moment, he actually did some Snapchats after he committed the crime, and he sent photos of it all to friends, and Snapchats to his friends, which is pretty wild and crazy. So he was apprehended by the police, and he was charged on 3 different counts. One was obviously the murder of Michaela, and the injuring Lynn Bow. I can't remember what the third was. He was also charged a couple of months later with some child pornography charges, but they seem to have been dropped, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. So in last year, I think it was December last year, he pleaded guilty, and just last week, he was sentenced. He has been sentenced to 44 years with a minimum sentence of having to serve 33 years. So he will serve at least 33 years for the murder of Michaela. His lawyer and his sister spoke during sentencing. His sister told the courts that he decided to plead guilty to save Michaela's family the turmoil and the hardship of it. He also didn't want to waste taxpayers' money, because obviously taxpayers pay for the courts. His lawyer stated that he accepted responsibility and that he was very remorseful for what he's done. So I have a feeling his meds, he's finally taking his meds, which is, I mean, a little too late now. How old is this guy? I think he was about 22 when this happened. And he looks quite different now than in those photos. Let me pull up a photo for you. There is a photo in my thumbnail of him, but let me add another photo to the screen for you of what he looks like, what he looked like recently. Just have to find it. My computer is full of either true crime stuff or bunny stuff, so let me just grab a photo. Nope, that's all bunnies. Here we go. So this is what he looks like. I think he looks quite different. I don't know about you guys, but he looks different. Yeah, mental health issues really play a huge toll in a lot of these crimes, unfortunately. And the mental health system really needs some work, I think, internationally, everywhere. So yeah, so he has been sentenced and he will get out when is probably around 50 or 60. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but for what he was charged with, it's a reasonable amount of time. In Australia, we're under the British system, and life doesn't necessarily mean life, so that kind of sucks. So yeah, I wanted to give you that case update, and I'm glad that there has been some justice for Michaela. The whole thing is just absolutely horrific, and a lot of people, I don't think Michaela was given the respect that she deserved because of the fact that she was a sex worker, and she should have felt safe and able to work without something like this happening. And, you know, she was 19, 20, I think, when this happened to her, so it's just horrific. So yeah, let's move on. Oh, where did that go? Let's get rid of Mert. Don't want to see his face anymore. So, last night I had someone message me like, hey, have you seen this? And I didn't hear about it when it happened, but I am sort of diving into the Trent and Savannah Paschal situation. I don't know. Have you guys heard about this? Let me know in the chat or in the comments if you're watching the replay if you know about what happened here. So I think it's sort of back in the news because he was recently, as of last month, cited again. So let's go over. I only know the absolute basics of this, so bear with me. In October of last year, I think it was October 21st last year, old mate Trent here decided to hide in the wardrobe of Savannah's house. She was also with her mum. He ambushes them, and Savannah's mum manages to get outside, but unfortunately Savannah doesn't, and he shoots her in the stomach. She dies at the hospital. He, Trent, films a video after this and uploads it to YouTube. And I have that video, so we're going to watch that. No one's heard of it. Oh, interesting. I like giving you cases that you haven't heard of. So this one's going to really irritate some of you. So yeah, he shoots Savannah and then he flees. He is apprehended that night at a Walmart, and he shoots a police officer, and he is also wounded himself. So he's taken to jail, and he's taken to the hospital and looked after. He's taken to jail and charged. So he's charged with obviously the murder of Savannah and shooting a police officer. And then he is given bond. He was given bond. He bonded out. A man who ambushed and shot his wife and shot a police officer was bonded out. He was bonded out and obviously given an ankle bracelet, an ankle monitor. He cut that off, of course, and he has been on the run ever since. So that was October last year, and he's still been on the run. Now, the reason I think it's back in the news is because on April 13th, he was spotted. He actually carjacked, I think. He stole a car at gunpoint. Let me just read this again. Okay, so he didn't... From what I was reading, I'm not 100% sure whether he slipped his GPS monitor back then or in October, or whether it was recently. But he did remove the ankle monitor, and he was recently seen in April last month, pulling a knife on a car sale. Sorry. So he was seen. He pulled a knife on a car salesman and actually stole the car that he was apparently trying to test drive. So the judge has revoked his bond, but he obviously hasn't been seen since. They do have 2 children, a 7-year-old girl who is the couple's together, and then Savannah's has an older son who's 11. This is in the States. Yeah, this is in Texas. So there has been discussion about the fact that maybe the reason he was bonded out was because of COVID. But for such a serious crime, I just don't understand why he was bonded out. So, hey, Washington County News Station, Utah, welcome. So let's have a little listen to, I've got the video that he posted. So he actually filmed a video and uploaded it to YouTube. It's not on YouTube anymore, but obviously I was lucky enough to find it with a friend who was respectful stalking for me. So let's have a little look at the video.
I'm recording this because I want my daughter to know that I love you, Mackenzie, Paschal. I'm so sorry that I've done this. I want you to know that you mean everything to me. And William, I love you too. I love you so much. I love you like you're my own. I didn't choose this. Your mom chose this. She's been cheating on me for a long time. I have audio of her talking to other guys. I didn't do nothing wrong to her. When we first got together, I told her, "You're too young for me." There's an 18-year-old difference in her age. And I knew she was kind of too young, but she's been playing me for a fool. I told her not to mess with me, not to mess with my emotions. Don't play with me. I got an audio where she was calling a guy yesterday on her way to get her eyelashes done. And she said, "Hey, baby." And he goes, "Hey." And I was like, "That's not my voice. Why is she calling somebody else baby?" Then she started talking about a dream and everything. And she had with them too about sex and everything. And I put everything into this relationship. I have done nothing to your mom. I've never hit her. I've never hurt her. I've never called her names. A couple of times when I got really mad, I would say a bad word or something, but I've done everything I can. I haven't done anything wrong. I'm like, why me? My hair's a mess and I look horrible. Oh, sorry. Take these off. I love you, Mackenzie. I love you so much. Please do something good with your life. Please do something really good, because you deserve a good life. And I don't know what else to say. I'm so sorry. I don't have better words right now. I'm hurting so bad. I don't know what else to do anymore. I didn't do nothing wrong to her. I provided what I could. I've done what I could for her. I've done nothing but good for her. And I've treated y'all good. I've done good things for y'all. And I don't know what else to say. I love you, Mackenzie. I love you so much. Do something good with your life. Make me proud. Make me very proud. And Mom, I love you. You've been the angel through my whole life, taking care of me. You're there when I need you. You've always answered the phone for me. You've done everything. Sorry, I keep looking at the cameras. I don't know how much time I have. But I've never done anything like to her. I don't know. I was going back. My mind is everywhere. I can't concentrate right now. Anyways, Mom, I love you so much. You're my angel. I love you. You mean everything to me. And Dad, you've done a lot for me too. And you've taken care of me. You raised me good. You've done whatever you could. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love you so much. You love me like your own.
Deep breath, everyone. Deep breath. Because I was watching that and just taking deep breaths, because that guy, that video really makes me angry. I don't know about you guys in the chat and in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling. But from the live chat, I can see a lot of people are quite angry at the pure narcissism spewing from his mouth. He was trying to make out that he was the victim in that, I think, and he's anything but the victim. And he's the crazy thing is that he's out on the run. He's just out there, and we know that he's killed his wife and he shot a police officer. Like, what else is he going to do? And I really feel for let me just see if I can get the video. So Savannah's poor parents are looking after the two children, and the fact that he's out there, free, and he recently stole a car held someone up by knife point. So they're obviously living in fear as well, because they've lost their daughter, but they've also got their 2 grandchildren, and I can imagine that it's very, very scary for them as well. So he's out there, and I had to share that case with you guys because it's just absolutely wild. I'm glad that Savannah's mother was safe, but it's just so tragic that poor Savannah lost her life, because it doesn't even, no crimes make sense, but he was obviously, it reminded me a little bit of Hannah Clark, because it sounds like Trent was monitoring Savannah's phone calls from what I can pick up, because he was listening in and he heard her speaking to someone else, and that's why he shot her. The kids are 7, the daughter's 7, and the son is 11. So really young as well, and it's just absolutely heartbreaking. So he's out there. He's last seen in Texas, in Houston. He went to USA Auto Brokers on North Shepherd Drive in Houston. And during a test drive, he pulled a knife out on the car salesman he was with and stole the car. So he's armed and dangerous. If anyone has any information on him, you can call Houston Crime Stoppers at 713-222-TIPS. TIPS. So please stay safe if you're in Houston, because, this guy's out there and on the run, and I do hope that he's found soon and that he can be brought to justice for this poor family, because this is just absolutely horrible. So that's Trent Paschal, and I'll keep a lookout. If you guys find out any information about this when you're respectful stalking, don't forget you can email it to me, missbridgetparker@gmail.com, or you can also pop it in our Facebook group, All Things True Crime. You can go over and join if you're not a member. That would be great. And whilst you're watching, I would love it if you're new to subscribe to the channel and to share it with friends. It really, really helps me out. And to like the video. All of that engagement and interaction really helps my channel grow. And we can share true crime in a respectful light and put the emphasis mostly on the victims and what they have to go through. Which is what I like to do. So the last thing I want to look at is I want to look a little bit at Fred Durst. It's because I was reading an article about that earlier. Robert Durst. This morning I couldn't sleep, so I was up and I was able to watch a little bit of opening statements for his trial. Oh gosh, Cheryl Chase says, I'm in Texas now. I'm going to think I'm seeing this creep on every corner. Oh gosh. Oh yes, and I heard about the tiger. Actually, before we go into Robert Durst, a quick little mention about, speaking of tigers, about the Tiger King, Joe Exotic. I don't know if anyone has seen, if you follow his Twitter or Facebook, you'll know that Joe Exotic is getting tested for cancer. They think that he has prostate cancer. He was already chronically ill. He has an issue with he has a blood disorder, and has been sick for decades. So yeah, he's not doing the best. And yeah, you can listen to on his Facebook. I was listening to his Facebook the other day, and he sends out voice memos, and he was talking about the Big Cat Act that they're planning to do, and he's still trying to get his pardon from Trump from last year, from the beginning of this year. I don't know, it's quite crazy. But yeah, so that's a little update on Joe Exotic. But let's get back into Robert. So I hadn't done... Oh yeah, that I wanted to mention that Jack's mum. they canned the Tiger King movie apparently. Nicolas Cage was going to play him. That's the weirdest choice I've ever thought of for him. Anyway, so I haven't done a whole heap of research into. I know the basics when it comes to this case with Robert Durst, and that he's been to trial before and he was found not guilty. There was a mistrial, I believe, and it's just been going on for decades and decades and decades. So I was watching the opening statements this morning, and I've still got more to watch on it. I believe yesterday he didn't turn up to court as well, which is really interesting. So does everyone know about... I have a feeling Robert Durst is one of those cases that most people with true crime know a decent amount about, but it's believed that he's killed 3 people. Miss Justice says he's a creep. Heck yes. He's a billionaire, and so I have a feeling that money's been able to really help him prolong this trial quite a lot. So let me just get the names because I can't remember the guy's name. Sorry, guys. So his wife went missing, Kathleen McCormack Durst, and she hasn't been found. She went missing back in the... the 80s? Yeah, 1982 was the last time she was seen. Opening statements were really interesting, because you guys have to go watch it. It's on Law. Is it Law and Crime? This guy is so arrogant, but he's got that characteristic that a lot of killers seem to have, where I don't think he realizes how dumb he is, because he's basically admitted to it. He's done so many interviews about it, and I mean, he was throwing out all of her like medical records, and she was going to school, and he threw out all of her books for school. He didn't report her missing for 4 days. Really, really wild. Jack's mum says he's claiming he's dying like the Golden State Killer. Yeah, a lot of people were saying that. The difference though with that is that because someone was saying, oh, you know, he's in a wheelchair just like the Golden State Killer. It's the same. It's not actually the same really though, because Joseph D'Angelo Jr. actually pleaded guilty and he confessed to all of those crimes, whereas this guy is fighting it tooth and nail because he's a billionaire and he can afford to do that. A lot of people are saying because he's so old and frail, they're saying that they don't even think that he'll make it through the trial, which is quite wild. Cheryl T says he was found not guilty of killing the landlord, I recall. Yep. So they believe that he killed his wife, Kathleen McCormack Durst, and then he had a longtime friend, Susan Berman, who sort of became his alibi when his wife went missing, and he is alleged to have killed her as well. Then he went into hiding and he was on the land, and, you know, he was in... Whereabouts was he in? Galveston? No. I can't remember exactly the location he was in, but he was hiding and no one knew his identity. But Morris Black figured out who he was, his landlord, and he ended up killing him and dismembering the body. So that's 3 people that are known of. The other thing to remember, Libra says, didn't he do the HBO special as well? So they made a movie about it with Ryan Gosling playing him, which is a very interesting choice. And during the audio commentary for the DVD release of the movie, Robert actually did commentary for it, and he was really angry because they made out that he killed his dog, and that's what he was angry about. He wasn't angry at the fact that they accused him in the movie of killing 3 people. It was that he killed his dog. So I mean, that you know, I don't know. To me, that looks like that he's basically admitting that, well, yeah, okay, I kill those people, but the dog, like, I wouldn't do that to the dog. Why would you do that? Oh, I'm buffering. Let me have a little look. We back. It says the stream health is good. So, the creators of the movie actually filmed all of this and have all of this, and there was an amazing documentary that came out that I actually haven't watched. Are we still buffering? Let me know in the comments, guys. I haven't watched it, but it's called The Jinx, and I think I'm going to have to pop that like high on my to watch list, because I'd really want to watch it now. So I don't know where it's streaming everywhere for you guys, but I'm going to have a little look for it. And I really want to watch the Jinx documentary whilst I'm also watching the trial as well. So yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm watching Robert Durst. It'll be interesting when we finally get to an ending for this as well, because this has been going on for decades and decades. So I'm excited in a way for there to actually be an ending. I don't know about you guys. I do like following cases as they're going on, but I also really like looking at a case from start to finish and to try and work out the whys and the hows and all of that sort of stuff as well. That's why I like to do the videos on individual cases that have already sort of been wrapped up a little bit. I need to watch The Jinx. I definitely will. Oh, I'm getting a warning now. It's buffering for me as well. Well, I've actually wrapped up for today on everything I wanted to have a little chit chat about. I want to start doing more lives, shorter lives, but more often. So if there's any cases in particular you want to go over, please let me know. I'd really love that. Let me just have a little... I'm not sure if we're still live or not. That's awkward. So thank you everyone for coming and participating in the live. If you're watching the live or watching the replay, I really appreciate it. Please consider subscribing to the channel and also liking the video and sharing it. That really helps out a lot. And thank you so much. And I will see you guys definitely next week. And don't forget that I'm changing my channel name, so that if you see a different channel pop up, then it's mine. I will be all things true crime as well. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a lovely day or night wherever you are, and we will chat soon. Bye, guys.